Welcome back, friends, and if this is your first time, thanks for tuning in. Today, I want to talk a little bit about Shattered Space, but more importantly, what the hell is the Great Serpent? And with this new DLC closing in on us, I thought it would be a great time to get all my last predictions of, House of Varun and the Great Serpent and how it ties in with the Unity and what we can expect from this DLC before it drops, because Starfield is going to be different forever after this. So, without further ado, Great Serpent. Now, what we do know, I don't have the dates exactly in front of me, but Janan Varun, accompanied with that lost colony in like 2140 or something, maybe it's 2180? Who knows? When they grav jumped, he had the encounter with the Great Serpent. And I think it was only him. I don't believe anyone else has actually encountered the Great Serpent or seen it. But that's how a lot of religions get started, One person sees something or has this experience, and then this whole religion is started off of it. I know Mormonism was that way. This one man, Joseph Smith, had a vision in the forest and constructed his whole religion after that. That's another video. But I kind of feel that whatever Janan Varun encountered during the grav drive incident that made him see the Great Serpent, I believe that was something to do with Unity. If you don't know what Unity is, maybe you don't want to listen any further because this is going to get into spoiler territory, but when you go into New Game Plus and you collect all the artifacts and you go into the Unity itself, using the grav drive, you show up there in the space we call the Unity, and you talk with yourself. I've always assumed it's your higher self, all of your parallel selves together, like your collective consciousness. But that also will be another video for just what the hell is the Unity and Starborn just in general. But I feel that whatever Janan Varun encountered was an accident. Of course, I purely think it was an accident somehow. Maybe there are no accidents, but it was not through the way of collecting artifacts. I don't even think he had ever touched an artifact, from what we know. This is all this is pre-Shattered Space, so who knows if we'll get some more history updates when we get to the city of Dazra. But I feel he saw something that his mind could not comprehend. That's why when you go to the Unity, they say they show up in a form that we would be able to comprehend, and for whatever reason, that is ourselves, because, the whole universe and everything, like, we are God and God is us, and God is just itself split into an infinite amount of ways and creatures, which is why we have, like, the whole multiverse and all these things, and this just mixes into, like, where science and religion blends together, and what is the real fabric of reality. Whatever Janan Varun saw, he can only describe it as a serpent. Now, I don't know if that's like Aurora Borealis, or not Aurora Borealis, but Aurora Bora, I believe, is the snake eating itself. I don't know if it is an actual cosmic being. I don't think it is. I think it is like an energy source, or witnessing the Unity in its whole. Instead of being in the Unity, he was outside of the Unity, still in this space between time from the grav drive jump. Whatever they saw scared them. But see, it scared them, but also made them feel like they had power. So I don't know if he gained Starborn power from having that vision from coming into contact with Unity, which he calls the Great Serpent. But I do think Unity and the Great Serpent are the same. If not, the Great Serpent is one of the creators, or one of these step aboves, this creature or entity who has been influencing the time loop, and, you know, I guess humans are now part of the, you know, Unity. But whatever's creating the Starborn, whatever's like making them come back, I think that is something to do with the Great Serpent. But what the Great Serpent is like part of the elephant of the whole Unity. So, you know, when we do our main story mission, you know, and what we see of the Unity when we do New Game Plus, you know, that's like the whole metaphor of like an elephant in a dark room. Like, well, when I go through the Unity and everything that we know currently as players of the game, like that's like us grabbing the trunk. You know, like, well, this is what I think the Unity is. This is what I know it to be. But House of Varun and all their weird experiences, you know, they're grabbing like the tail or like the foot, and that's what they call the Great Serpent. You know, but I think the Great Serpent is of the same aspect or energy source or just source in general of the Unity, but is like a darker aspect of the Unity, like death itself, which is why you reincarnate and you come back, and like maybe going into like the whole like I think of Bada Gavita or Bada. I'm totally mispronouncing it. I'm sorry, but Bada Gavita. Oh my goodness, but the Hindu Bible, where they, you know, I think it's you know, like the god of death is, you know, eating everything, like I am become death, like destroyer of worlds, where that whole you know, famous saying has come from. I feel the serpent will be like the energy source that they're trying to harness from the serpent will be taking control of the reincarnation process that New Game Plus gives us, where we, you know, you send someone into the Unity and they get to choose where they want to go. Well, instead they come back as this ethereal person or ghost or creature, as we've seen in the trailers. I think that's going to be them almost hacking or perverting the sacred blessing of the Unity, or messing with like the energy of the multiverse. I do not know though, but I do think that whatever we find out that the serpent is some form of the Unity coming into our reality. And that's why there's like that weird, when we see on the space station of the trailer when coming in, there's like something like a metallic organism that's growing that they have the chains around. I don't know. Gives me a little bit of Stranger Things vibes. But I do believe that whatever this entity that they call the Great Serpent is, it is about taking control of that New Game Plus, like taking control of the Starborn and making them have no free will, and making the Starborn under, like, I think that's what those House of Varun people coming back and like they're all translucent are a form of like serpent Starborn. But I don't know. Those are just my predictions on the story. Now, what do I expect from, I guess, not technically the gameplay, but like what will the outcome of our options be? So this is like in between, like, I guess, story mode. I want to talk about the 50 locations that we're possibly going to see, but what choices are we going to probably have? And I think it's going to be a lot like Far Harbor or other previous Bethesda titles and DLCs, where there's two different factions and, you know, they're vying for power, and you can kind of choose who you want. There'll be the rebels and the loyalists or whatever, you know, and they're going to be, or I guess it's probably going to be the zealots for the Varun, but you know, people who want things to change or who want to keep things the same. You're going to go and either play both sides, figure out what you want, and there'll be relatively three options. Either side with this House of Ruin people, maybe side with, maybe even more than three options. You can maybe just side with the Great Serpent. It'll be like a, well, what is it? The Dark Brotherhood quest when you talk to the Night Mother, you know, with Cicero. Maybe you'll have a experience like that with the Great Serpent. You'll definitely have an experience of the Great Serpent, but what that will be might be up to your interpretation, which is why I think it will be harder to choose, you know, do you want to help the Zealots or do you want to help the other people? Because I think helping the Zealots will make it so you can start a crusade against the settled systems again. Kind of like Fallout 4's system when you do Nuka World and you can like become a raider, and then all the settlements that you've like helped and built up with Preston, you can go and attack them and be a raider and kind of have this total like Darth Vader moment of like turning around and becoming evil. I could see that happening. Don't want to get my hopes up or expectations, because that's Starfield's biggest downfall, is people getting too expecting too many things and getting their hopes up on this certain aspect and their certain idea of what it will be, and then when it's not, they get all butthurt. But I definitely think there'll be some sort of impact to whoever you choose. You will see more of that faction out in the world, and in settlements. Now, if you choose to side with the Zealots, I think it will make it so Dazra is all cut off, and only Varun people, like House of Varun civilians. I don't want to say like they're not a species of people, but technically, if they've been breeding with each other for so long, they technically are their own species. So this whole culture, they'll stay closed off, and you'll, you know, be in and allowed. But I think if you join with presumably people who Andrasia is friends with, or people like the ambassador that's in New Atlantis, you can make it be friendly and open up Dazra, and it could be just another place where you'll probably see all sorts of different people from the settled systems coming. And I do hope that it will add some different dynamics to the story. So, because this is like the big reveal moment for House of Varun, which is gonna feel like aliens coming to the game. We've had just humans in these different factions and different like cultures of humanity, and we have House of Varun, which is this weird cultish snake worshipping space cult, you know, and we're about to find out a lot more about them. And I think it's going to be a really unique culture post Shattered Space, when you can just go to that area to just chill. Hell, maybe they'll open a Tarot Brew in Dazra after you know, open up the borders. There might be all these different like gentrification and ramifications of opening up the borders. I don't know if they'll do that. That might be a far stretch to think that Bethesda might, but you know, they always have some tricks up their sleeve. And after Fallout 4, you saw all the different changes in the Capital Wasteland, just like with who you picked. And I'm hoping that that is definitely something that will be implemented with Shattered Space. So those right now are my main big things I think they're going to be done with, like story-wise, besides just companions that you'll probably be able to find. They're probably going to introduce a couple new, like, fleshed out companions, honestly. Which I guess it just brings me into my next and last point, which the 50 points of interest, and what game things are we going to get from this. For one, I definitely think we're going to get at least one or two companions. Maybe another like House of Varun person that's like good, or like has like that's on one side, kind of like Andrasia, but not just Andrasia. Now we'll have someone else, and then we'll probably have a zealot who we can have be on our side. I think if not two, we'll at least have a Varun zealot that we can have on our side to be evil with us. Because in most other Fallout titles, they've always added a new companion that's pretty fleshed out to be equal standing with the other main companions in the game. And if that's to be true, it's going to be a very fleshed out companion, just like the other 4 main companions of Constellation. The 50 points of interest. Now, see, I am wondering about this because I keep hearing shattered space, and I've heard that there's I heard Pete Hines, I believe, was saying it is a section or a sector of space, this sector of stars. But I've also heard just like that everything's going to be on this one planet, so it sure seems like everything's just going to be on wherever the House of Ruin planet is. Serpentinus 4, maybe it's like they've been hiding in the veil of the Unity, like a split dimension. I just think they have their. I'm hoping that, I don't know. It is probably going to be some weird like you have to do this special grav drive coordinates to get to their planet. But wherever you go, I kind of think it's going to be a solar system that will have several planets on it, and there's going to be 50 new point of interest areas that will be scattered throughout these planets. Now, I might be totally wrong, but that kind of is what I am feeling. Or maybe, I mean, it's definitely going to be POIs. They made new POIs specifically for this area, and they will be scattered all over the planet. So I'm assuming that you'll be able to land on this planet that Dazra, the city, is on. And around the city, there will be, quote-unquote, points of interest. Will there be specifically 50 points of interest around Dazra? I'm not sure. I think there'll be like 20 or more, and it'll be this large area, like one of the big tiles that you can explore, but just densely packed to where you could just walk around and go to these caves or go to these areas, you know, like more fleshed out than Aquila City or Atlantis, obviously, on the outskirts. You know, there's like some farms and some little settlements depending on what your random generator gets you, but I think that will have like more expanded, fleshed out version of Dazra, especially because the city will be like split from some weird cosmic experimentation with the Unity, I believe. But I think there's also going to be a handful of brand new POIs that are going to be spread out through this specific part of space, this solar system that we're going to go to. Maybe it will just be one planet. Maybe this, I don't know if there's a veil over the planet or if there's just a special way you have to grav drive, which I kind of think it's going to be a special way you have to grav drive, hence why they said pirates and spacers and zealots are going to be there also, because I'm almost thinking it's not like there's going to be there's like these little secret ways and then now all these factions want to get in there. I think something's going to open up, or that like Dazra and like House Vroon were hidden until they did mess with the Unity or were doing experiments with, like, you know, the Great Serpent or whatever the hell they were doing with that giant ass gun, and it split, it wrecked wherever the hell they were. Maybe they were in this specific like pocket dimension, you know, like from like where you can travel to with your grav drive, and then they messed up and it split them out of that, you know. And but I think there's going to be like an obvious way to get to their space. Like they'll be, oh crap, everyone knows where we're at now. And so that's why you're going to have random ass spacers and pirates who, like, they're not sophisticated explorers or like sysdef or like, you know, who are organizing to like lead a capable assault or try and like do like reconnaissance and survey. Like they're just gonna be random, you know, anyone, like let's go, like the gates are open, let's hit it. So I think there's gonna be something that happens with that space station that we get to that's going to trigger this event, and then that's when we're going to go there. And maybe it will be there's a specific like location that you need to like enter on your grav drive, and everyone will find out about it, and then you can go there. But I don't know, and I don't know if it will be the one planet or if it will be a section of planets. I kind of think it's going to be a section of planets. I think maybe even a couple bodies of stars that are like off above our normal star map. That's a little bit far out there, and I think just having it just one planet is a little too safe. So I think there's going to be a solar system, is my honest prediction, that we will be in this Varun Kai solar system with different, just like probably maybe the one habitable planet, which is where Dazra's at, and then everything else will be weird, alien, super interesting planets that they haven't really messed with or added to like the base game, trying to breed this cosmic horror in this like whole other weird region of space. But only time will tell. So if you made it this long, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you listening to my little rant about Shattered Space and the Varun and the Great Serpent. But please let me know in your comments what you think is going to happen in this DLC. What are your predictions? I would love to hear more about them. I haven't heard, honestly, a lot. People kind of just take what they get from the trailers and don't want to do any predicting because they are already kind of stung about Starfield in general. But I love Starfield, and I'm all about predicting what's going to happen in Shattered Space because it only releases once. And then we're going to have to wait for the next DLC, which will probably be almost another year. So I'm all about it, guys. It's ramp up time. Let me know what you think. Without further ado, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye.